Yeah, good evening everybody. We'll split this into two, so we'll obviously take questions on this evening's game first, and then we'll have an embargoed section for our next fixture in a specific part of this press conference. So if you can hold any questions back for that game, please do. Who wants to get us started? Damien?
Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
Does that game just show the value of taking chances, of the importance of taking chances? Because there's lots to be pleased with, but ultimately you let them into the game, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that would be a very fair reflection on what I've seen tonight. I think a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, a lot of heart from the players. I thought it was a good performance without being a great one. And to beat Barcelona, I think it needs to be a great one. And yeah, we had the chances, two big moments in that first half we didn't take. And ultimately, when you concede the first goal, the game swings on that moment.
In the middle here, please.
We know that Barcelona obviously has been the dominant side. What assessment do you make of the time your team wasn't on the ball?
Sorry, just say that last bit again.
The off the ball movement of your team.
Off the ball. Yeah, I thought, look, we obviously tried to make it difficult for Barcelona to settle into the game. We wanted to try and regain the ball high if they played out from the back. I thought we had good success with that. I was pretty pleased. We knew there'd be phases also in the game where we'd have to defend a little bit lower. We would have to be good in defending space, and relatively pleased with that as well until the first goal, really. The first goal's a big moment. We don't mark. Firstly, we don't stop the cross, and then we don't mark well enough in the box, and we concede. And I think when you're chasing the game against them, that becomes very difficult because they can exploit gaps that maybe you wouldn't have left previously. So that was probably the most challenging part of the game for us.
Okay. So Jordan, behind you, please.
Eddie, obviously there was a lot of sort of hype in the build-up from outside. Are you going to be pleased when the games start to become a little bit more routine and things calm down in the house?
Yeah, I thought the hype's not necessarily a negative for us. I think this game was always going to be talked about and always going to be an exciting one for our supporters, and I thought they were brilliant for us tonight. Just so disappointed we couldn't get that first goal, because I think that would have, taken us to another level. But the effort and endeavour was there from the players. There was no lacking in terms of heart and courage, as I said. And yeah, look, we can be critical of a couple of things that we could have done better, but ultimately we'll analyse it and try and improve and try and grow from this experience.
Excellent. We'll go to Jordan Cronin, and then we'll go to Scott in the second row.
Was that regret to not start Nick tonight?
I can't live in that world. I have to make decisions for the benefit of the player sometimes. It was a really difficult one for Nick. Of course, any player would want to start every game, but I've got to try and manage him into the team and try and make sure he stays fit. And I think that was always at the heart of this decision. Of course, knowing that we have Anthony suspended as well for the next game. So, and it's the same with Jacob. He's nursing an Achilles problem, and we just want to keep the majority of the squad fit and available for as many games as possible.
Thanks, Jordan. Scott?
Eddie, can you just talk us through kind of what happened with Fabian in terms of, obviously, he got the ball in the face, he gets the treatment, he stays on, they score the goal, he then goes down and goes off. What was the kind of timeline for you around that, and how is he?
Yeah, I've got no sort of information on you there. I'm in the hands of the doctors really in that moment. The only message I got that he was okay to continue, and I don't really know any more other than that.
And Kieran?
Same. Yeah, I've not had a chance to speak to anybody yet.
Okay. Any more in this room? No. Okay. Concludes this part of the press conference. We'll take questions on our next fixture now. Embargoed for 30 minutes, so 11:15 this evening. Who wants to start us off on the next one? Craig?
Obviously Nick didn't start tonight, and Johan Whistle would have started if he had been fit. Can you just take us inside that injury? Would you have done anything different on reflection? Was it beyond your control? Is there any update on when he's going to be back? Just tell us a little bit more about Johan. Obviously there tonight, that is really impactful.
Yeah, it is impactful, and of course everyone wanted Johan to be fit. There's nothing personally I would have done different. I did everything we did everything we did as a football club to try and look after Johan. But it's like with any footballer, when they go away on the international duty, you're not in control of the minutes they play, and unfortunately got injured. And now we just have to deal the best we can with that situation. We think he'll be out until the next international break. That he's sort of got a race on to be fit for that Brighton game. Hopefully he can make it, and then it'll, of course, will be such an important player for us.
Okay, Lee Ryder, then Keith Downey, please.
Eddie, just off the last Champions League campaign, have you got plenty of learnings to take into the, going from sort of the midweek into the Sunday game? Can you now benefit from that experience last time around, starting with Bournemouth?
Yeah, the process is the same, really. I don't know if there's any massive learnings to take from that. Of course, I think the biggest thing is it's a psychological issue rather than a physical issue, I think. It's the big high of tonight, and that would be a big experience for the players, and another big emotional game, and then the big come down, and then you've got to go to Bournemouth, which is a really tough away game, even with a full week to prepare. So I think that's the challenge we face, and every European team goes through the same experiences, and that's why these campaigns are more difficult in the Premier League for us. So this will be the first test of that this season, and hopefully we can rise to it.
Thank you. Keith Downey?
Eddie, was it a frustration at all that you weren't playing those, sorry to ask this already, but you played in those 2 games for us as an international team that picked up the injury, were you given how much of a kind of stop-start some of these have?
Yeah, again, I think it's one I'm not in control of, Keith, so I've tried not to give it too much emotion. Of course, we're just devastated that he's injured. Nothing in our control. We just got to try and get him fit as quickly as possible in the safest way, and then he's got a big part to play in our season.
How much are you going to have to manage the striker situation? Because obviously, next start of the games tonight, you're going to have to be through the middle, but without Wissa there, you don't have a huge amount of options through the middle. Is it going to be a kind of balance in that?
Yeah, we're going to have to look after Nick, as I said, and I think it's hard enough for him to come into a new league, and you can see the physical effects he felt at Wolves, and then the quick turnaround in games here. So there's no guarantee, even by managing him, that he's going to stay fit and play all the games. But we're going to try and give him the best chance to stay fit and also acclimatise to the league that he's in. But he's made a very good start. I thought he did well when he came on today. I was really pleased with him. He was involved in the goal, so yeah, hopefully he'll be in a good place.
Dominic, please.
Hi Eddie, sorry to ask about Johan Wissa again. We're speaking about him being sort of touch and go in and around the next international break, but international football not in your control. Do you expect him to go away with the Congo? Is that something that just comes around?
Yeah, I don't expect him to go away because I don't think he'll be fit enough to do that by that point.
Okay. Damien Spellman at the front.
Eddie, we saw flashes of Anthony Elanga, what he can do for you tonight. Presumably you would want him to be building on that because that's his strength, what we saw in abundance tonight.
Yeah, I thought he did well tonight. I think he was an absolute threat in the game. He's put in one lovely cross, I think, for Anthony Gordon to have that chance early in the game. But I think you can see his strengths, his pace, his direct running. I thought defensively and off the ball he was fine. He's acclimatising to that role that we ask him to do. So I'm very pleased with him. I think he's going to be a very, very useful player for us this season. And certainly I think he's made an impressive start, and I think there's a lot more to come.
Obviously, Lee and Jacob will want to play every game if they can. How do you manage the frustration? Because you want tiplets for every position, don't you?
Yeah, you do. But I think they both understand, especially in a week like this week, and that's copy and repeat until Christmas for us. There's going to be enough football for both players. I think the big thing for me is whoever enters the pitch, whoever we decide to play, you want them at their best physical condition to execute what we ask them to do. We play an intense style, so the players, if they're not playing, need to be ready to come on impact. I was pleased with the subs today, and that will be absolutely crucial as we go through this season.
Okay. Any more? Okay.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Cheers.